spots in the back sections of this pond that are 30 feet deep, so it's not really a pond either. Look, a big Jimmy beetle. I hope you guys caught that. That's actually good luck. Every time I was at Dried Meat Lake, that's another lake we fish at, I'd see one of them come up the hole, and I'd see the biggest jack. It'd make your eyes pop out like, oh, look at that thing. And of course, you could never catch the damn thing because they're smart.
Like the leader ripper.
Yeah, the leader ripper, the 40-incher that we got up to the hole, and it covered the 8-inch. You couldn't see, it was bellying back. And of course, oh, let it run. Let it run, let it run. We should have just fucking tailed it, pulled it up the hole. But that's fishing. The one that got away, and it's always the big one. It's never that little one. Now they're not playing. A few minutes ago, the action was just hot. Got a nice little ice tent to sit in. It's kind of windy outside, so had to build an ice road onto the lake. Somebody trudged on it a little bit, but I think they were a little too scared. I use what's called a spud bar before I come out. And if you can punch it, if it punches through in one hit, you don't go any farther. If it takes a few hits, you're pretty good. So I found out about 5 inches ice where we are, so it's safe to be walking on. But if you find yourself in lots of snow, heavy drifts going on to a pond early season, beware. There's no ice at all under that snow.
Along the edge.
Yeah, along the edge of the pond is retardedly unsafe. But if you got a good road, I punched a road in and pounded it down and then flooded the shit out of it. And it's cold out, so it's frozen up. You can walk all over it. You walk on it before, but you had to be a little cautious. Now you don't have to be so super cautious. But it looks like we were the only ones to be on this spot here. I think more of them go over a ways. And then, of course, when they go over a ways, there's no snow on the edges of the lake that they're fishing, so the ice is froze right up to shore. Well, here is not the case, but we conquered the adversity of the project, got it done, got on the lake. I think I've got six or seven. Ron's got one finally, but the biggest one of the day on the ice. On the ice. Has to be on the ice to count. If it's not on the ice, it doesn't count. But yeah, the one I lost was definitely would have been a lake record for me out here. It was a tiger too. You just see the bright orange belly. Oh, I just missed another one. See, the minute I'm talking on camera, they'll bite. But if I put the camera to the holes, they don't bite. Or they just little nibble. Wish I could have caught that big one on camera though.
Well, I'm going to try a big spinner and see if I can get that big guy and come back.
Oh, you fuckers, bite.
Maybe.
Little bite. Bite. This little... There we go, got one. Oh yeah. Oh, there he is. I can see him through the ice. Here he comes. Woo! Oh, and a live release on the camera. I hope we got that. It's kind of hard to do it. I was gonna bring a GoPro. I had it. I was gonna film a new video with it, try it out, and of course, in the Melee, it's sitting on my counter, fully charged. Unlike our Markham unit, that was great. It worked for 30 seconds to a minute. It saw one fish, so it did the job. I recommend Markham cameras for if you don't charge them, they're not as good as if they are charged, but it had enough charge to show us that there was a fish in the area, and ever since then we've been having some pretty good action. So yeah, that's what smoking and fishing's about. Let me get back to this anyway. This is it's a honey stick. It's a variable output on the voltage. You can switch it to 2 for a lighter one, 4 volt for a heavier one. You put a shatter cartridge on it, and yeah, and indulge. I've got other shatter that all die like I cough a little on it, but that there is smoother than most. That might have been a little overkill. It was good. Tasted good. That was killer. Woo! So now I gotta switch this over to here again. I gotta check my bait and stuff. What I'm using, it's actually been the lucky hook of the day.
Yep.
I just gotta show you this. I made them. Yeah, this is great. So I have a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old gave me this wild idea to use pipe cleaners on a little J hook, and I tip it with either a piece of minnow or a piece of, this is a piece of shrimp on it, tipped on there for your bait. But yeah, she said, yeah, make me one. So I made her one on a hook that I cut the hook off so she couldn't hook herself or hurt herself, but she liked it and she still has the thing. So it was a bonus in my bag, but I used them on Rocky Mountain whitefish in BC, and lo and behold, they worked. You can't, a lot of places use bait, so you fake them with something like that. But these rainbows don't seem to care. You are allowed in certain places to use bait. Here you are. Every place differs in Alberta. Every place differs in BC too. BC, you're not allowed barbless hooks in any running river, stream, brook. But if you're fishing, you go from fishing a lake to a river, you have to switch your tackle out. You can only have barbless single hooks. If you got a lake box, you can have all your spoons and plugs and crankbaits with all the hooks on them, but you can't in a river. And yeah, so you got to carry 2 types of tackle when you go out there. And if you got them mixed up, you know, you better not get caught with them half the time. But I've had a pretty good run-in rate with the fishing game. They're usually, for the most part, good. They usually like to educate the person before they lay charges. And fortunately, I've only had 1 warning in my days. I'm pretty good at the... There's another one. Oh, I lost him. Was another one. But yeah, it was actually funny that I've ever had a warning. The only warning I got was for that same thing, BC barbless hooks in the stream. I had this little egg pattern thing on, and I had 30 of them in my tackle. And the only one I had put on, I thought I'd crimped them all after I made them. Well, one made it into the batch, it wasn't crimped, and that fucking was the one I put on. And of course, I got 2 officers there, an old one, an older guy, and a young buck. And that young buck, when he seen that on my rod, he took my rod, and he's all sitting there talking to the old guy. And I can see the old guy, you know, it was a common mistake. He's got a tackle box full of barbless hooks, and one happened to be barbed. Kind of, you know, don't give them a ticket, just give them a warning. And you know, truth is the biggest thing, telling the truth. I just told them, well, I made like 30 of them the day before I came here, and I made sure they were all crimped, I thought, and that must have been one that got through. And I let them go right through all my tackle, and oh, well, everything's all single and barbless, so they let me off with a warning. And that was the only time in like the 4 years I've gone fishing out there that I've always buy a license too, but you never see them out there. And I didn't even think, the funny thing was, I fished there for like 5 minutes before they actually said really anything, because normally you know, they're fish and wildlife officers. These guys, it come out and I thought it was like a dad and his son just looking at the fucking river. I seen them, I looked at them, I nodded. They didn't have, like, they got these little tiny patches on a black jacket. And you go, fuck, whatever, I'm not looking for patches, you know, or whatever. I'm just sitting there fishing. They wandering down. They just started talking to me like they were tourists. And then they asked me for my license, and I was like, oh shit, you guys are fishing game. So yeah, It would be nice if they like looked like a fish and game officer, but they're pretty cool. Never really have problems with them, so. It's the other people that have the problems with them. Fishing without a license, too many rods, being a Greg. Inside joke. The minute I don't touch the rod, they bite it. Joys of fucking YouTube videos. If you don't like something that you said, you can instantly delete it. Because I never do a live. I just record them, and then if I don't like something, I could just take it and fucking edit that piece out.
I got a hit on this rubber minnow.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice. That's always a good thing. Good signs. There are little thumps here and there everywhere. Yeah, the old giggle rod there's fun. Good little unit. Good little fucking unit to have. And if any of you are in the States watching this, live in Canada, so it's legal. Well, you can smoke wherever the fuck you want, pretty much. Unless it states no smoking. And yeah, usually you get away with it. Everywhere I go, I've never had really any issues with it. Oh, I see that. They're biting it. It's a rubber minnow. Alright. Look. First thing for everything out here. A fake minnow. Fake minnow doing the same job as a real minnow. Yeah. I was gonna rip a lip.
That sucks. The camera's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like they do lots down there.
Oh man, I bet you there's fucking the amount of bites we're getting in action. It's been like non-stop. Oh, there's another one biting away. Got it. Aye. Check the bait again. Oh, still got the shrimp. Shrimpy, shrimpy. Yeah. Well, I think I got one fish on the video for you guys. Lots of bites. As you can see, I've tried to set hooks on like 4 or 5 now, but hey, that happens. It's fishing. That's why they call it fishing and not catching.
Alright, enough of that.
Yeah.
On your hole.
Pneumonia hole? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Close the pneumonia hole. Fucking right. Close the pneumonia hole. I like that. That's fucking right.
There's one right there. It followed me right up.
Fucking right.
Look it. Look it.
Is there?
Right there. Oh, I see it too. Oh, that's a big one. That's a good one. Fucking huge, man.
Oh, it's a good size one.
That's
There's a tiger. That's a tiger trout, guys. Look at how daring they are. They come right up the hole. Oh, I hope I got that on fucking camera. That was the sickest. Oh, that is the sickest fucking thing ever. Oh, there's your proof. Look at that. He just coming right up the hole. What a fucking. That is so cool. Oh my god, that is the coolest thing ever. That was fucking sick. Right at the hole again. Daring little fucker, eh? That was fucking cool, Ron. And that's what smoking and fishing's about. Yeah, that was cool.